All right, so for objective 3, we're going to break it out in 2 parts. The first, we're going to start by adding our boss level or our final level. So add a layout only. We'll call it level 4. For most of you, don't forget to leave out the space so that our code will work later on. Go ahead and add the layers that we need. So go ahead, add the layers like we have before. Our HUD layer, remember the parallax is 0, 0, with our main being, or background, sorry, being 75, 75. Now, once you have that set, let's go ahead and add our boss. So we're going to right click and insert object, sprite, and call this boss. We're going to add 4 animations. So we'll rename this to default. All right, so go ahead and add the animations for default, which is just our standing image. Our jump image is also a single image from our file. Shoot, single image, and then walk will be our animation pane down here. For the walk, change the speed to 8, and then we want this to loop. Our shoot, we're going to do is we're going to add an image point. So zoom in with this selected, right click, add image point. We're going to put this inside the mouth. So this is where our fireballs are going to generate from. They're going to spawn from. Go to your default, and here we're just going to do our bounding box. So select the collision point, right click, set to bounding, and then apply to all animations. Exit out. The behavior then on our object, we got to add the platform so that we have gravity. And here we're going to adjust the speed to be a max of 100. And then we want to make sure we have no default controls because we're going to program the computer to move it for us, not with our arrows. Next, add your instant variables. So for the boss, the dragon in this sense, we're going to have 2. We're going to have action, which will be a string with an initial value of idle. Select OK. And then we're going to have our health with a number and an initial value of 5. So this is how we're going to track once our boss, after it's been hit 5 times, will actually die, leave the screen, and allow your character to move to the final end. All right, go ahead and make sure this is on the main layer so that it can interact with your flip character. Also, does not need to be that large. So you can decrease it to whichever size you want. I'm going to choose something around there. Go ahead now, we're going to add the fireballs. So we're going to insert new object, sprite, go fireball. All right, so on your fireball, this is a strip. So import this from strip. Fireball 4x1, and just delete your first default, and that will be all you'll need to do for that in this window. So go ahead and put this on the outside of our frame. We're going to adjust the speed. Let's see here, where are we? Go ahead, open it back up. Let's adjust the speed for -400. And then we will, 8, and then we will loop this. So on our fireball, we're next going to add the behavior of a bullet. This way it'll project out, just like our arrows or our coconut has. And in this, the speed should be -400. This will allow it to travel from the right side of the screen to the left. We're also going to add a behavior of destroy out of layout. So once this fireball leaves the screen, we want for the computer to automatically remove it without us having to write code for it. Okay, next we're going to add one marker simply for the boss. So this will be treated the same as our knights. However, we want to be able to program for a separate marker. So this is why we're adding separate boss. So go ahead, just like we had before, fill it with some color of your choice. You can adjust the size, so probably around a 10. The computer has it 10 by 720. So I will do the same. We'll go 10 by 10. Position it later on, make duplicates, make sure it is on the main layer, and then turn off the visibility. So we don't want for our game players to see this, but of course we want it to be functional. So here we go. Level 4, we did forget event sheet. So we want to make sure our ES level's attached. And then the size of this will be 1600. So this will be a shorter length, but equal width gameplay. So here we go. This will fit in with our viewport now a little easier. You'll go ahead and adjust characters based on needs. Duplicate this since you need 2 to create collision points. Next, go ahead and add a wall object. So we're going to insert sprite wall. And here, just go ahead and apply a solid behavior. Next, add a cage. And let's see what this is called. Well, we're going to have to add a strip. So I believe the strip is of 20. So right click, import from strip. Let's go import, see if this works. It's a little cut off, so we're going to undo and go 20. And here we're going to set the loop and speed. So for speed, we're going to go 20. And then we will add our loop. Now these objects are going to be placed towards the end of our game. So we'll have something like this. Make sure, keep forgetting, this is also on the main to create the opportunity for collisions. Go to your blocks layer, add ground objects, position so that your boss sprite is as such with your ground object being in the way. Looks like I got that on the wrong layer as well. Put this on blocks. Go ahead, add some ground objects, platforms, flip, and then we'll begin doing the event sheet controls. So I've gone ahead and added the layout, adjusted as you see fit, but you should have ground objects to allow for movement. Let's go to our level. We're going to add a few attributes. So on our control group, we're going to add a sub event to test for collisions with the boss marker. So we're going to go add sub event, flip on collision. We're going to choose boss marker. So flip's movement should be prevented from hitting that. So we're going to go flip, set X. We're going to go -500. This way it'll force it to the left of the screen. Go backwards. Go to your coconut collision group now. We're going to test for and do a few collisions here. So add coconut, collide. This we're going to choose the wall. And we'll do a coconut destroy. So we have one right here. Why don't we just hold down Control, drag it. Here we have another collision. So this one we're going to do with the boss. So we can copy this. To collide with our boss. And here we'll have a few things. So we will have the coconut destroy. We're also going to have boss subtract from health 1. And then on this, we're going to do a sub event. So we got to test for some other occurrences. Now we want to know if the boss, we're going to compare his variable, if his health is equal to 0, then we want for the fireballs to be destroyed so they can no longer exist. We then want for the boss to be destroyed. And then we want the boss markers to also be destroyed. Next, we're going to add a boss group. So go ahead and add a group. Just call it boss. Next, we're going to test for system. Every 1.5 seconds, we'll go 1.5. Now, before we can move on, we need to do a local variable. So we need to create, all right. So go ahead, add a local variable. We are going to call this fire chance. So we're going to create a random number generator. And this will have an initial value of 0. Now, every 1.5 seconds, we want for that variable to be randomly chosen. So go ahead and choose. This will be an internal clock. So we're going to have your system set value of fire chance to random floor six. So this will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, off the system counter, we're going to create a sub event. This will test. So we want to make sure for the system, if fire chance, so that's our variable, is not equal to 0, we're going to have the boss animation to shoot. We want for the boss to spawn. We're going to have it spawn the fireball. And then our fireball will have to adjust the angle of motion. So if we go angle, set angle of motion, we're going to go 170 degrees. Now off our boss, we're going to set system, every 1 second. We're going to set the boss's action to a random generator. So we're going to go set value. To choose, and then in quotes, we want to put the word left, comma, right, comma, up, up, and wait. Next, we're going to go up to the very top, our on start a layout. We're going to go ahead and add a sub event select your boss, go visible. We're then going to go to the system. We're going to go set group active. And the group then will be our boss. Next, let's go to our boss group. Off our 1 second. So every second, they're going to make the action variable one of these 5 words. Based on the word, we're going to add sub events to test for those. So we're going to go boss, compare. If the action is equal to the word left, we're going to have our boss simulate the control of left. We're then going to set our animation to walk. Go ahead and copy this. And change our left to right. Change the simulation of right to left or left to right. And leave your animation to walk. Again, copy this. If our action is up, we want for the boss to simulate, cancel this actually, we're going to delete this. We're simply going to set our animation, sorry about that, delete this as well. We're going to go boss, simulate under our platform, and we're going to go jump now that we have that.